I know that a lot of people ask, like, how do I just get started with something? Because you're telling me all these key commands and these things to do, and I just don't have a session to play around on. So I'm going to give you this session. It's just a kind of a nothing track right now. Anyway, um, maybe you can make something with it. One thing about key commands is that I'm not like a key command wizard, and I don't advocate sitting around and memorizing key commands. That's not a great way to interact with the program, I don't think, is by just forcing yourself to memorize these. I think you will memorize a lot of these key commands the more you use the software, because you're going to do something 100 times and then say, there's got to be a faster way to do that. And then you're going to remember the key command. But don't worry about them for now. You can always Google and find a list of all the key commands. In fact, I'm going to give you one sooner or later. Learn how to do what you need to do, and the key commands will come along with experience with doing it. So don't stress out about memorizing key commands. Now, I want to point out one other thing. I'm going to give you this session, but there's a special trick to giving someone an Ableton session that I want to go over because I'm about to do it. Well, I might as well just do it right now for this track. When I drug this file in, just for example, when I drug this file in, this file is somewhere else on my hard drive, and I drug it into this session. Now, what Ableton knows is it knows that whenever I'm interacting with that file in my session, to go back to that spot on my hard drive and play around with that file. It essentially remembers the location, the path it needs to go to get to that file. But if I just took this, if I just took this session, DNB1ALS, and sent that to you, you're not going to get that file, because you're going to open that file and your Ableton session is going to say, okay, I need to go to Jay's hard drive to find this file. And you don't have Jay's hard drive, so I can't get that file. So there's a way around this. What we have to do is, if you're going to share a file, you have to tell Live, take all your external files, every file that you only know the location of but don't actually have a copy of, make a copy and put it all together so that I can send this to someone. And here's how we do that. So we go to File, and then we go to Collect All and Save. That's going to collect all of the external files that it's using, put them into one session folder. Collect all and save. Now it's going to say, what all do you want to collect? Files from elsewhere? That's a definite yes. Files from other project? I'd say yes. Files from user library? You can usually say no to that, assuming the person I'm sending it to, has a normal user library. They don't need that. But it's not going to hurt. So I'm going to say yes. Files from factory packs. I tend to leave that off because it generally is going to make your session huge. And if it's a factory pack, then they have it. Anyone who has the same version of Live that you do is going to have that pack already. So I'm going to leave that off. So now I'm going to say OK. Okay, so now if I go to my session, I see the file. Now, you'll only see one of these. I had to save it as a new version because this is the first time I've worked in this file with Live 11. So I made a Live 11 version. That's the one that you want. But you'll also see that now it has a samples file folder, and it's got all the audio samples that I used and audio samples that we made, and it's also got important info about the session. So now what you're going to want to actually share is not this file, because that's not all the material. You need the samples file too. So we're going to back out one level and go to the project folder. That's what you're going to share. Because if somebody has this folder, now they have everything that they need. Okay? So you're going to do collect all and save, and then you're going to share the whole folder. So what I'm going to do is compress this. There. Now it's a zip file. When you open that zip file, you're going to get this, and then open this Live 11 version of it. And as long as you have Live 11, you're fine. If you don't have Live 11, open this version. Cool? Okay, so in the next session, or the next little thing, I'll give you this session. Feel free to play around with it, chop things up, do whatever you want. You will get an error when you open it because I am using some higher end sample libraries on these, and you don't have those. You can see I'm using the Kontakt plugin on these string settings. So just grab any instrument you have and throw that on these MIDI clips, and you'll get some sounds happening. But you're going to need to put something else on these MIDI clips, unless you happen to have Kontakt and this Cello True Legato sample library, then it should open up just fine. But I doubt you have that. But throw any old instrument on there and start playing around.